What if the quiet screen you are staring at right now is not a rejection, but a profound mirror? Have you ever noticed how a tiny piece of glowing glass can hold your entire emotional world captive? Most people do not realize that the deepest suffering we experience after sharing our truth is not caused by the other person's silence. It is caused by how tightly we are holding on to the hope of their response. If you have ever felt stuck, anxious, emotionally exhausted, or invisible while waiting for a single text message, this is for you. Stay until the end, because the final lesson may change the way you see this agonizing pain forever. Here is the truth few people want to face. You finally said it. You gathered your courage, pushed past your fear, typed the heavy words, and hit send. You laid your heart bare. You told them how you feel, what you need, or where you stand. And now there is nothing, just a silent phone. The minutes stretch into agonizing hours. Your mind begins to race, tearing apart every single word you sent. Did you say too much? Were you too vulnerable? Was it a mistake to be honest? Your chest tightens. You pick up the device, check the screen again, and set it down. And again, you have paused your entire existence, waiting for a little digital bubble to appear and give you permission to breathe again. What if the harder you try to wait for that relief, the further peace moves away? Buddhist wisdom teaches us that this exhausting space between sending a message and receiving an answer reveals a deep truth about our inner lives. The pain you feel right now is the pure pain of attachment. We suffer because we believe our emotional safety is locked inside someone else's reaction. We cast our vulnerability out into the world, and then we demand that the world hand it back to us in a perfectly wrapped package of validation. We tie our inner peace to an external outcome we cannot dictate. But true peace does not come from controlling the response. Peace comes from letting go of the desperate need for one. Imagine a bird resting on a high branch. If the bird sings its song into the morning wind, it does not wait in anxious silence to see if the forest will applaud. It does not demand that the wind sing back. It simply sings because that is its nature, because the song was inside it. Then it opens its wings and flies away. When you spoke your truth, you were that bird. You sang your song. You released what was heavy inside your chest. But instead of flying away into the vast sky of your own life, you have trapped yourself in an open cage, staring at the branch, waiting for an echo that may never come. Think about your own life right now. You are holding a piece of cold metal in your hand, letting it dictate your worth. Outside your window, the wind is moving through the trees. The sky is shifting colors. Your life is happening quietly and beautifully all around you, but you are entirely consumed by an empty digital room, missing the reality of the present moment. Ask yourself, what are you truly waiting for? Are you just waiting for a text message, or are you waiting for this person to make you feel safe? Is staring at this screen bringing you peace, or is it only feeding your fear? You must remember that you cannot control how another human being receives your truth. You cannot force a closed door to open. Your only responsibility was to be honest, and you have done that. You have done the brave thing. Do your part, then release the outcome. Pause, breathe. Observe the thought of checking your phone without following it. Let the feeling of anxiety rise without making it your identity. You do not have to chase a feeling of worthiness that is already yours. Put the phone down. Let the silence simply be what it is, because letting go of the need for an immediate answer is only the first step, and this is where the next truth begins. 2. The illusion of the final answer. What if the reply you are so desperately waiting for will not actually bring you the peace you think it will? Here is the truth few people want to face. We convince ourselves that we just need an answer. We believe that if the screen finally lights up with the right words, an apology, an agreement, a sudden realization of our worth, the heavy weight in our chest will instantly disappear. We tell ourselves that closure is just one notification away, and so we hand over all our power to a flashing light. But think about your own life. How many times have you waited for a response, finally received it, and still felt a lingering emptiness? If their reply is too short, you overthink the tone. If it takes too long, you wonder why they hesitated. If it is not the exact script you wrote in your mind, your anxiety simply changes shape and begins a new cycle of worry. The waiting never truly ends, because the problem was never the silent phone. The problem is the deep-seated belief that someone else holds the key to your emotional relief. Buddhist wisdom teaches us about the illusion of the external fix. We suffer because we look outside ourselves for something that can only be built within. In Buddhist thought, this is the endless trap of craving. We believe that the next moment, the next message, or the next validation will be the one that finally makes us feel secure. But external things are entirely impermanent. A text message cannot permanently anchor your soul. As long as you demand that another person's words complete you, you will always live at the mercy of their timing. Imagine a person standing at the edge of a quiet lake at night, trying to capture the reflection of the moon. They reach into the dark water, desperate to hold the beautiful light in their bare hands. But the very moment they grasp it, the water ripples, and the image shatters into 100 broken pieces. The reflection was never meant to be held. Your desire for the perfect answer is like reaching for that reflection in the water. You are trying to firmly grasp something fragile, unpredictable, and entirely outside of your control, hoping it will make you feel solid inside. In our daily lives, we constantly mistake a digital response for true closure. We pour our deepest, most complicated feelings into a message, and we expect a perfect, healing reflection in return. But the person on the other side of that screen is just as human, just as flawed, and just as uncertain as you are. They cannot hand you the inner peace you are looking for. They cannot type a sentence that will permanently erase your fear of being alone. Ask yourself, if they reply right now with exactly what you want to hear, how long will that comfort actually last? Will it permanently heal your self-doubt? Or will you just begin waiting for the next reassurance tomorrow? Are you truly waiting for their words? Or are you waiting to finally feel like you are enough? Pause. Breathe. Stop looking for the moon in the water. Let the desperate craving for an answer rise in your mind, and then watch it pass like a cloud drifting across an empty sky. Do not reach out to hold it. You are already whole, right now, perfectly complete in the silence. Because true freedom is not found in forcing someone else to understand you. It is found in realizing that you do not need their validation to exist. But letting go of that need means we must first look at the heavy weight we are carrying. And this is where the next truth begins. 3. Releasing the burden of vulnerability. What if the heaviest thing you are carrying right now is not their silence, but the sudden regret that you opened your heart at all? Here is the truth few people want to face. When we wait for a reply after sharing our deepest feelings, a quiet voice of shame often begins to whisper. You look at the heavy words you sent, and you wish you could pull them back. You wish you had said less. You wish you had played it cool, stayed guarded, and kept your walls up. You feel foolish for caring so much. You convince yourself that your vulnerability was a terrible mistake because it left you exposed to the cold wind of being ignored. We mistakenly believe that caring deeply makes us weak if the other person does not care in exactly the same way. But Buddhist wisdom teaches us that the act of opening your heart is never a mistake, regardless of how the world receives it. Your suffering does not come from the fact that you were vulnerable. It comes from your attachment to how your vulnerability is judged. In Buddhist thought, a sincere and compassionate heart is our truest, most natural state. The pain arises because we attach a hidden transaction to our truth. We silently say, "I will be open, but only if you promise to make me feel completely safe afterward." Imagine a flower opening its petals to the morning sun. It does not bloom only if it guarantees a traveler will walk by to admire its beauty. It does not suddenly fold itself back up in shame if the garden remains entirely empty. It blooms simply because it is the nature of a flower to open. The blooming itself is the triumph, not the applause of an observer. A flower standing beautifully in a quiet, empty field is no less magnificent than one in a crowded room. In our daily lives, we treat our deepest feelings like a harsh currency. We trade our honesty, desperately hoping for an emotional return on our investment. When someone leaves us in silence or responds with cold distance, we feel entirely bankrupt. We let their inability to hold our heavy truth convince us that our truth was not worth sharing. But your honesty is not a transaction. Being the one who cares, the one who speaks up, and the one who feels deeply in a world that often hides behind screens is not a weakness. It is a profound, quiet strength. Think about your own life. Ask yourself, are you truly regretting the honest words you said? Or are you just terrified of standing out in the open? Would you rather live a life hidden safely behind a heavy, locked door, but remain completely unseen? Or are you willing to risk the cold wind to experience the vastness of the open sky? Is your regret truly yours? Or is it just the ego trying to protect itself from being ignored? Pause. Breathe. Place a hand over your chest. Feel the immense courage it took to type those words and send them into the unknown. Honor that courage without demanding that someone else reward it. You were brave. Let that simply be enough. Stop trying to force the door open, and stop wishing you had never knocked. Let the feeling of exposure rise without making it a story of your failure. Because true peace is not found in hiding your heart to avoid the agonizing silence. It is found in letting your truth exist in the world, completely unattached to the echo. But the human mind hates the silence, and when it is left waiting, it will quickly try to fill the empty space with its own terrifying stories. And this is where the next truth begins. 4. The mind's imagined outcomes. What if the silence is completely empty, and you are the one filling it with a storm? Here is the truth few people want to face. When a message is left unanswered, the silence is not actually saying anything. It has no voice, no opinion, and no hidden judgment. But human beings are terrified of empty spaces. So, when someone does not reply, your mind immediately rushes in to fill the void. It writes a tragic, heavy script. You imagine them reading your honest words and feeling burdened. You imagine them slowly deciding to walk away from you forever. You convince yourself that they are ignoring you on purpose, perfectly content while you are silently suffering. You live through 100 painful rejections before they even have a chance to pick up their phone. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that this is the natural habit of the untrained mind. In Buddhist thought, a mind ruled by fear is constantly grasping for certainty, even if that certainty is painful. One of the deepest lessons of Buddhism is learning to separate reality from the powerful illusions our minds create. You are not suffering because of what is actually happening. You are suffering because you have chosen to believe the terrifying story your anxiety is projecting into the unknown space. You are fighting a fierce battle against a ghost of your own creation. Imagine sitting in a completely quiet, dark room. The room is inherently peaceful and still, but you find a movie projector and turn it on, casting a terrifying, chaotic film onto the blank wall. You sit in the dark, watching the heavy shadows clash, feeling your heart race and your chest tighten in absolute panic. You feel completely trapped by the terror in front of you, but the danger is not real. The wall beneath the light is still perfectly blank. The room is still entirely safe. The only thing causing your agony is the illusion you are watching on the wall. In your daily life, the silent phone is just a blank wall, but your deep-seated fear is the projector. You look at the hours that have passed, and you project every insecurity you have ever carried onto that tiny piece of glass. You suffer over conversations that have never actually taken place. You grieve the loss of a connection that has not actually ended. You exhaust yourself fighting an imaginary war in your own head, while the real world outside your window remains perfectly, beautifully still. Think about your own life right now. Ask yourself, are you reacting to their reality, or are you reacting to your own deepest fear? Is this terrifying scenario you have built in your mind an absolute fact, or is it just a passing shadow? What would happen if you simply decided to turn the projector off? Pause, breathe, observe the fearful thought without automatically following it into the dark. Watch the tragic story rise in your mind and recognize it for what it is, just a story. You do not have to believe every anxious thought that crosses your mind. Let the terrifying image rise, fade, and drift away like smoke in a quiet room. Stop trying to figure out what the silence means. Let the silence remain beautifully empty. Because true peace is not found in predicting the future to keep yourself safe. It is found in realizing that you can sit in the unknown without letting it destroy you. But sitting calmly in the unknown requires a profound shift in how we view the response we are so desperate to receive. And this is where the next truth begins. 5. The practice of non-attachment to the response. What if the true test of your emotional freedom is not what they say, but how you react to whatever they decide to do? Here is the truth few people want to face. We spend our lives secretly bargaining with reality. We type out our deepest feelings and quietly draft an unbreakable emotional contract. We decide exactly how long a reply should take, what specific tone it must have, and what exact words must be used to validate our vulnerability. If the message perfectly matches the script we wrote in our minds, we feel instantly safe. But if the response deviates, if it is brief, defensive, emotionally distant, or completely absent, we utterly crumble. We allow a single glowing notification, or the lack of one, to completely dictate our sense of self-worth. Buddhist wisdom teaches the profound practice of non-attachment. This does not mean you do not care, or that you should become cold and indifferent to the people you love. Non-attachment simply means allowing things to be exactly as they are, without demanding that they serve your fragile ego. In Buddhist thought, tying your inner peace to an uncontrollable external event is the root of all unnecessary suffering. The other person's reaction is deeply entangled in their own history, their own unresolved fears, and their own emotional capacity at this exact moment. Their response is a reflection of where they are in their journey. It is not a measurement of your value. Imagine a sturdy, ancient tree standing quietly beside a rushing river. As the season changes, the tree drops a single beautiful autumn leaf onto the surface of the water. The tree does not chase the leaf downstream. It does not command the river to flow slower, nor does it demand that the water carry the leaf to a specific destination. The tree simply releases the leaf, letting it fall, and remains deeply rooted in the solid earth, standing tall through the changing weather. In your daily life, your honest message was that falling leaf. You released it into the unpredictable river of human connection. The person on the other end of the screen is the water, moving at their own pace, navigating their own unseen obstacles and hidden currents. When we furiously stare at our phones, demanding an immediate and perfect reply, we are trying to forcefully control a river we did not create. We pull our own roots out of the ground, throw ourselves into the freezing water, and exhaust our spirit fighting the chaotic current. Think about your own life right now. Ask yourself, Are you standing firmly rooted in your own inherent worth, or are you desperately drowning in the unpredictable river of their reaction? What would happen if you accepted that you have already done everything you can possibly do? What if you decided that you no longer need to manage their emotional response to protect your own peace? Pause, breathe. Feel your feet resting firmly on the ground. Do not chase the leaf. Let the river move however it must move. You have spoken your truth. Now, gently reclaim your vital energy from the outcome. Because true peace is not found in orchestrating the perfect human interaction. It is found in knowing that your foundation remains entirely unshakable, no matter what the river decides to do. But breaking free from this waiting game requires us to physically confront the very object that is keeping us trapped. And this is where the next truth begins. 6. Breaking the spell of the screen. What if the prison you are sitting in right now has no walls and the door has been wide open this entire time? Here is the truth few people want to face. You are holding a device of glass and artificial light, and you have quietly given it absolute authority over your inner peace. You swipe, you refresh, you check the quiet screen again. You carry the phone from room to room, holding it as if it is a fragile, sacred object containing your entire destiny. You are physically present in your home, but your spirit is entirely trapped inside a digital waiting room. You have reduced your vast, breathing existence to the tiny dimensions of a glowing rectangle, letting a silent machine decide if you are allowed to feel joy today. Buddhist wisdom teaches the profound practice of mindfulness, the quiet art of returning to the present moment. In Buddhist thought, our deepest suffering flourishes when we are completely disconnected from the reality of here and now. When you stare endlessly at a silent screen, you are living in a fabricated dimension. You are trapped in the past, analyzing the honest message you sent, and you are trapped in the future, agonizing over a reply that has not yet arrived. You have completely abandoned the only place where true peace actually exists, this exact moment, in the physical world. Imagine a moth drawn to a solitary candle in a dark, silent room. The moth furiously batters its delicate wings against the hot glass, desperately trying to merge with the glowing flame. It exhausts its energy, entirely mesmerized by the light, completely unaware that just behind it, the heavy wooden door of the room is wide open, revealing a vast, infinite night sky filled with 1,000,000 brilliant stars. The moth is not physically trapped by the glass lantern. It is trapped by the spell of its own unbroken focus. In our modern lives, we are that moth, and the silent phone is the flickering candle. We exhaust our minds, constantly checking for a message, battering our spirits against the silence of another human being. We let the sudden glow of a notification dictate whether we have a peaceful evening or a devastating one. We ignore the warm sunlight coming through the window, the comforting taste of our food, and the steady, grounding rhythm of our own breathing, all to stare at an empty digital void. Think about your own life right now. Ask yourself, how much of your precious, limited time on this earth are you willing to surrender to a quiet piece of metal? Are you truly holding the phone, or is the phone holding you? What would happen if you simply turned your eyes away from the artificial flame and looked toward the open door? Pause. Breathe. Notice the physical weight of the phone in your hand. Feel the hard texture of its edges. Now, intentionally and gently, set it down on a table across the room. Take a step back. Look at it purely as an object, not as a powerful judge. It is just metal. It is just glass. It has no absolute power to determine your worth. Break the spell, because true peace is not found in waiting for a glowing screen to finally validate your existence. It is found in realizing that you have the power to walk away from it at any moment. But stepping away from the digital void means you must finally open your eyes to the beauty you have been missing. And this is where the next truth begins. 7. Awakening to the world beyond the phone. What if the life you are so desperately searching for is happening right now, just outside the frame of your glowing screen? Here is the truth few people want to face. While you are sitting in a quiet room, completely frozen in time, waiting for a reply, the rest of the world has not stopped spinning. You have placed your entire existence on pause. You let your morning coffee go cold. You walk through your home like a ghost, entirely disconnected from the space around you. You let precious, unrecoverable hours vanish into an empty digital void. We become so utterly consumed by the interaction we are missing that we become entirely blind to the life we are actually living. Buddhist wisdom teaches us the profound beauty of awakening to the present moment. In Buddhist thought, much of our suffering comes from being asleep to reality, lost in the heavy illusions of the mind. To wake up is to bring your full awareness back to the physical world, the only place where life actually breathes and moves. When we stare endlessly at an empty message thread, we are choosing to live in a ghost town. But true peace requires us to consciously step out of that ghost town and walk back into the vibrant, living world. Imagine a person sitting by a window in a dusty, darkened room. They are staring intensely at a single fading photograph of a beautiful landscape, desperately wishing they could feel the fresh breeze captured in the image. They stare at the flat paper for hours, feeling trapped, suffocated, and deeply alone. But all the while, just inches away, the actual window is wide open. Outside, a magnificent living storm is rolling across the mountains. The air is electric, the trees are dancing, the rain is washing the earth clean. But they miss the entire miraculous event, simply because they refuse to look up from the silent photograph. In your daily life, the quiet phone in your hand is that flat, lifeless photograph. You are pouring all your vital human energy into a two-dimensional space that cannot offer you warmth, breath, or movement. You are missing the subtle sound of the wind against your window. You are missing the quiet, steady rhythm of your own heartbeat. You are missing the way the evening light stretches beautifully across your floor. You are trading the undeniable, magnificent reality of your own existence for a silent, digital waiting room that holds nothing but your own anxiety. Think about your own life right now. Ask yourself, what beautiful, quiet moments have you missed today because your eyes were fixed on a silent screen? Are you willing to let this entire precious day slip through your fingers, completely unnoticed, just because one human being has not typed a few words? Is your present moment not worth infinitely more than their delayed response? Pause, breathe, look up from the screen. Find 3 physical objects in the room around you. Notice their shape, their color, their absolute stillness. Listen to the subtle sounds of the physical space you are occupying right now. Step outside and let the actual wind brush against your face. Reclaim your physical senses. Let life meet you where you are. Reclaim your space in the physical world. Stop waiting to live until the moment they finally decide to reply. Because true peace is not found when the screen finally lights up with a digital message. It is found the moment you realize your life is already vast, entirely beautiful, and happening perfectly without it. But realizing this opens the door to the ultimate revelation about your own quiet completeness. And this is where the final truth begins. 8. The peace of being whole without an answer. What if the heavy silence you feared at the very beginning of this journey was actually the greatest gift you could have ever received? Think back to the moment you finally hit send. You felt terrified. You placed your entire sense of emotional safety into the hands of another person, and you waited in the cold, dark for them to hand it back to you. You believed that without their validation, without their perfectly crafted reply, your vulnerability was a foolish mistake and your feelings were an unwanted burden. You convinced yourself that you needed their words to finally feel whole again. But look at where you are right now. The glowing screen is still perfectly quiet. The message remains completely unanswered, yet you are still breathing. The physical world around you has not ended. The sky has not fallen. You have survived the very silence that terrified you, and you have discovered something profoundly beautiful in the process. You have discovered your own unbroken strength. Buddhist wisdom reminds us that true inner peace is never found by aggressively controlling what is outside of us. It is found by deeply trusting what already exists within us. Over these lessons, you have practiced letting go of the illusion of control. You have watched how your fearful mind creates terrifying, tragic stories out of completely empty space. You have broken the hypnotic spell of the screen and remembered the physical, breathing world waiting for you outside your door. You have realized that your honest, open heart is a magnificent thing, completely independent of how anyone else chooses to receive it. Imagine a vast, timeless ocean. On the surface, the waves constantly crash and break. The weather changes rapidly from calm sunlight to violent storms. Sometimes a small boat passes by, and sometimes the horizon remains entirely empty for days. But deep beneath the surface, miles below the crashing waves, the water remains perfectly, beautifully still. It is entirely untouched by the chaotic winds above. Your true nature, your inherent self-worth, is that deep, quiet water. The text messages, the delayed replies, the misunderstandings, and the silences of other people, these are just the passing weather on the surface. They cannot alter your profound depths unless you willingly leave your quiet center and let yourself be pulled up into the raging storm. You no longer have to wait for someone else to tell you that you are safe. You do not have to pause your beautiful, moving life, sitting in an invisible waiting room for a digital notification to give you permission to exist. You had the immense courage to speak your truth, and that is a quiet victory that belongs entirely to you. Let them take their time. Let them slowly drift away. Let them respond tomorrow, or let them never respond at all. Their reaction belongs to their journey. Your peace belongs to yours. Reclaim your energy. Reclaim your attention. Step fully back into the glorious living moment you are standing in right now. If these lessons touched your heart, share this video with someone who may need a little more peace today. You can let go now.